Estate planning is extremely important. I firmly believe that anybody over the age of 18 should have an estate plan prepared by a competent attorney. And there's a number of reasons for that. One is most people do not appreciate the fact that even if you don't sign a will or a trust, an estate plan has been created for you. And that's the Probate Act. And so under the Probate Act, if you don't sign a trust or don't sign a will, that act is going to dictate where your assets go to, or if you have minor children, who takes care of your children. So a great example of that would be if you have a child under 18 and something happens to you and your spouse, well, what happens to that child? Under the Probate Act, there's defined people who will have the right to care for your child. So I always say you may love your brothers and sisters equally, you may love your brothers and sisters-in-law equally, but the reality is you may not trust them equally to take care of your child. Or maybe it's somebody that's not a family member that you want to take care of your child, and that's fine. But if you don't do a plan, the government's going to dictate who takes care of your child. And I, for one, don't believe the government or the courts should be the decider who takes care of your children. And so to handle that, we do estate planning. And that's a very important provision under estate plans. Another reason to handle or to do an estate plan with a competent attorney is most of us spend a lifetime building up our assets and material goods, for lack of a better word. And again, if you don't do an estate plan, the Probate Act is going to dictate who gets your assets. I want to dictate who handles my assets. And to do that, I do that through trusts and wills. So a great example would be I'm married with a child. If I did not prepare an estate plan and I passed away, half of my estate by law would go to my child and half would go to my spouse. There's a number of problems with that. One is for a child under 18, that would create a guardianship case. Guardianship's very expensive. It's under the court control. And I don't think that's the best result for my child. Likewise, most families want the spouses to have control over all the assets so they can manage their own affairs and also the affairs of their children. There are certain tax advantages with a properly prepared estate plan. This is legal and it has the potential to save you hundreds and potentially millions of dollars. If you don't do your estate plan, you risk your large estate to estate taxes. Other advantages of estate planning is avoidance of probate, avoidance of guardianship. There is a misunderstanding among a lot of people that if you have a will, you avoid probate. That's not necessarily true. In most states, if you have assets that exceed a certain amount, you will be subject to probate. And probate is a post-death court proceeding that handles your affairs. Again, my goal as your attorney is to avoid probate. And to avoid probate, we need a properly drafted estate plan.